Hello, and welcome back to the Founders Disco. I'm your host, Shuj. We're here today with Shena Lee-Anthony, who is a rehab physiotherapist and a health recovery coach. Shena specializes in burnout recovery, post-illness restoration, mainly working with high-functioning women. Hey, Shena, how are you?
Hey, I'm really good. It's really nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, great to have you. Shena, tell us a bit about yourself and your work and what you're into.
I am originally West Indian. So I grew up in the sunshine, and I think, you can see from my jumper, I love the golden glow. But I live in England. I live in London now. And I have been a physiotherapist for almost 20 years. I worked in the NHS, did my rounds, and it almost took my life. I got seriously burnt out because I've got so much passion. And I was really dedicated to getting my patients, because I never saw patients in hospital as patients. I saw them as service users, and I was there to serve them. But unfortunately, the NHS doesn't have that philosophy. And so I felt like if I was fighting against the system all the time. Anyway, so I got really badly burnt out, and I then started doing my own private physiotherapy, and it I just kind of fell in love with rehabilitating people again. I only visit people in their homes, and at that time I was working with an older clientele, a more mature clientele, and it just gave me so many wonderful experiences. But I think during COVID, when most of us couldn't go out to work anymore, I thought I need to do something else. I need to be able to work in a way that I can reach more people and support more people without being hands-on. And I didn't think rehabilitation works remotely, because there's so many things, other aspects of people's recovery that needs to be addressed other than just them doing exercises. And one of the complaints that many people had is like, physios don't listen to me. I don't feel like if I'm hurt, I don't feel like they really care about me. They're just telling me what to do. That's not what I want to do. And sometimes I found, particularly people who felt quite traumatized by their illness, whether it's a stroke, long COVID, or whatever, they just needed to feel safe. They just needed to know that they were heard and someone actually understood what they were feeling, other than the illness or the need to do exercises. And so I started dealing with that aspect of things first. So I found it was really important for me to be there and be in the room with someone else, and then look at whatever else is going on involved with their life. And it was one of my clients who said to me, you know what, Sheena, you're more than a physiotherapist to me. You're like my coach. And I thought, right, you know what, I'm already doing this already. What else can I do to get people better? Because I'm really passionate about supporting people to live their healthiest, most vibrant life, right? And I thought, what else can I do? And I thought, okay, I'll go and do a master's in probably public health. But I thought, that's a little bit too limited. It doesn't really strike the right button. And then when my client said to me, you've been more than a physio to me, you've been like a coach to me. I thought, okay, maybe I'll look into doing that. And then I found health coaching. And it was like, this is it. This is definitely it. Because I was already doing it already, but in an informal way.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's how I started doing health recovery coaching. And I joined women business organizations and stuff like that. And the more I was networking and the more events I went to, I was realizing, people are speaking about funding, a lot of funding and scaling, and it's like, where is the health element? Where is our biggest asset? Where is the conversation about our biggest asset in a real way, I mean, And because of my own experience with burnout, and I knew how just horrible it was, and it just takes so much away from you and sets you back for a very long time. And I heard conversations from really brilliant women who are scaling massive businesses and so on, but they're struggling. They haven't got any energy. And I don't just mean physical energy. It's like their emotional energy and everything is just completely gone. And I thought, there's a gap here. And I thought, I could combine my understanding of recovery and the biology and everything about recovering and apply it to burnout as well. And here I am.
Yeah, amazing. That's so cool. You touched on actually a lot of things that I am very passionate about. One is service. I'm a massive service guy. Our business is, apps and software and things like that. But the actual magic is in the fact that it's custom, it's tailored, it actually solves problems for you, and everything that goes along with it. And similarly, I have a lot of conversations with people who are just like, it'll start off with like, this thing is annoying me about the app or whatever. I'm like, yeah, cool, but like, have you had some water today? You know,
What's important here?
like you've been for a walk, you know. When was the last time you got 8 hours sleep, right? And quite often, I find that bottlenecks in most people's lives can really like a good meal, some water, and some sleep, and some movement consistently does a lot more than spending $25,000 on a piece of software. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's very interesting. Have gone through phases of burnout as well. So yeah, very, very cool. And I guess, so how long have you been doing the coaching aspect?
So like I said, I was doing it anyway, for years and years and years. And that's one of the reasons why, in terms of recovery for my clients, my physio clients, I've had some really amazing results. And I've been encouraged to publish my work. And I will. And there's an interesting theory I'll tell you about shortly. But anyways, I've been doing it for a few years without understanding the impact of it. And then so I qualified as a health coach, a certified health coach last summer. And that's when I, started building this new business, the FemEx Wellness, to support. Well, it says female founders and leaders, but it's really high functioning women who, like myself, just kind of think, yeah, I've got it under control. I'm cool. I'm fine, until we're not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't listen to the signs. Don't listen to our bodies telling us what you need to slow down. You just need to just stop, maybe just for a couple minutes. Yeah, so I started it officially November time. So it's very, very early, this new part of the business, and it's in its early stages. But I'm really passionate and rearing to go to support more women.
Yeah. Amazing. In terms of, if you were to say this is off the ground, my business is completely on and engaged, what kind of impact would that make, not just to you, but to the women that you'd be looking at serving?
I consider myself, I have a purpose. I'm not pretending to be like the Messiah or anything, but I feel I am driven very, very strongly by purpose, right? And I'm really passionate about what I do. And if things were up and running in the way that I would like, I think it would provide a place of safety for women, high functioning women particularly, to feel vulnerable, to be allowed to be vulnerable, and take that coat off that we wear, that armor that we wear. From conversations that I've had and my own experience, women, I think, often have to prove themselves. We have to prove ourselves. And we're spinning so many plates. We've got families, we've got caring responsibilities, particularly if you're a midlife woman, So you might have a husband, a partner that you're having to support. You've got kids, you've got elderly parents, you're running a business, you want to keep up with your friendship circle. And as women age, you've got the hormone dysfunction when we become perimenopausal and menopausal. And there's just so much that's going on. But we keep going. And I'm high functioning, so you know what? I can't show any weakness. I can't show any vulnerabilities. And there is where the problem is. Burnout, a lot of times, doesn't happen because women particularly in high functional women, not because they lack resilience. Sometimes it's because we have too much resilience. Yeah. And we don't want to be vulnerable. And sometimes I'm in the room with women, they've got their power suit on and they've got their power face on and stuff like that. No vulnerability. Everything is cool. I've got this. But sometimes we don't, And there's a lot of burnout strategy, and do this, go for the walks and go for meditation and the breathing and stuff like that. But it happens. And when it comes for you, what do you do? We can't recover by continuing to stride on and continuing to be strong and continuing to be brave. So if things were up and running, I would want to create a space that women feel really safe to be vulnerable, not judged, and truly stop, listen to what's going on with their bodies and help them truly recover, not just a transient recovery or feel better, but to truly recover from a biological perspective.
Amazing. Do you think there's an element of like giving oneself permission to be in that situation too?
Absolutely. But I think the space needs to be provided. So people can feel, well, I think anyway, one can come to a place of feeling vulnerable and know, this is not working for me anymore. I need some support. But you just kind of feel, okay, I've got friends and so on, but I can't let my mask slip because then that makes me appear weak. Or I don't want to worry my family about what I'm feeling. I don't think I need a therapist, but I need something. I need something. And again, I remember my own experience. When I got burnt out, it was coming along. It was coming on for a very, very long time. I could feel something wasn't right in my body until one night. And at the time, I was coming out of a very difficult divorce. And I had two young kids, two young boys. One was 10 and the other one was just about 6. And I remember coming home from work, from the hospital one night, and I said to my 10-year-old, I'm just going to lay down in the sofa for a little while. Give me the blanket. I'll cover up. I think you'll need to put your brother to bed. I was in that sofa all night, could not get up. I could not get up. I could not move. And I desperately needed to go to the toilet. And I couldn't move. And I remember rolling out of the sofa. I can laugh at it now. I remember rolling out of the sofa and falling flat on the floor and ended up in a puddle of urine because I could not move. Who do I share this with? I can speak about it now, but the shame that came with, feeling so vulnerable, feeling so incapable of looking after my own self. And it's simply my body just shut down and said, you're not listening, you're not looking after your own self, so I'm going to do it for you, I'm going to shut you down, Yeah. And what would I have needed? I would have needed someone be able to share that in a very non-judgmental way and say, I don't feel right, I am really struggling here. Take the mask off. Yeah, so that's what I really would like to create for women.
Amazing. Okay. And where would you say you're at now in that journey of creating that space?
As I said, it's really early days, and one of the biggest issues I'm finding is how do I get the voice that I have and the passion that I have out there for the right woman to know what this space is available for me. Because I can speak to people one-on-one for all of England and really, really explain my story, what I do, how I can support people, how I can support other women to come back from burnout or any kind of serious life-changing illness. Because burnout is life-changing, or it can be life-changing. The processes that we go through and the results that happens to us. So it's getting my voice out there clearly, clarifying what it is that I'm offering.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll send you some notes on that. Actually, I'm pretty savvy on reaching specific groups of people. Yeah, I'll send you some notes, and there are some other
Okay.
examples that you can take from what people are doing out there in a similar space, like not obviously as specific as yours, but helping people with problems like that. And not that there's a formula, but there are things that we can take from existing examples, and try and make them our own.
Yeah, I think for me, what's really important is that I maintain my authenticity,
For sure.
turning up as me, and speaking with my own voice, not
Hmm.
being a carbon copy of something else that's there already.
Absolutely. No, for
Yeah.
sure. It's more about the I guess the platform and the steps rather than the voice, right? Because being you is probably the most important part of that safe space, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that comes hand in hand with somebody else feeling safe enough to let loose, right?
To be vulnerable.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Have you worked with in any sort of, I guess, group style settings or agency type settings throughout your even previous career towards getting your message out there, whether it's the physiotherapy or for your own recovery, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I've done like not agencies, but I've done like a lot of networking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there are, like physio associations and so on that I've worked with that have helped me get my message out there. Yeah, so, but not in terms of agencies.
Yeah. Okay. Is that something that's been on your radar ever?
Yes, yes. But it's finding, not knowing the right
Yeah,
agency,
yeah,
collaborating with the right group of people who understands my mission,
yeah,
and my purpose.
yeah,
I think that's one of the biggest barriers for me.
yeah. That makes sense. If you had unlimited time and unlimited money, what would already be done in this adventure?
I would have a fabulous digital platform, but in saying that, for a long time I've been thinking about how I can package me and what I do in terms of the rehabilitation and the burnout recovery and illness recovery. How I package me and everything that I believe in, all my philosophy and stuff like that, and make it more accessible, maybe even globally. But there's so many apps out there, right? That is just another, right, let me try and navigate this app on the phone, whatever, and it's so impersonal. Yeah. So I would really love to create a platform, maybe where people can do some learning, so some basic modules, do
Mm-hmm.
some learning about understanding about burnout, but still have a way of connecting with me directly.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I'm not really a tech bro, so it would need to be a conversation
This guy.
with this bro. It would need to be a conversation with
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
who knows
Can
how to
definitely give
navigate
you
that, because
some
it's
ideas.
there, too many of these self-help, self-improvement apps are so impersonal, you know.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you said exactly those things about apps, right? Because I have an incredibly different perspective. Which is, yes, there are a ton of apps out there, but if you're doing the right things for the right reasons, people are going to specifically fall into your ecosystem, right? And I actually use apps to connect people with other people as opposed to disconnect a service from the provider, if that makes sense. The exact platform you described, I have built very similar ones. right? One's for a nutritionist, naturopath. She also works with women exclusively. I'll send you a link. Actually, she's a very interesting
Okay.
person. You'd have a good time.
Together with her. Okay, so,
You
so like,
really would. And and again, her whole thing is about like getting people into the ecosystem and then connecting with them person to person. So apps don't have to be like that. That's what I love about them anyway.
so that's why I said about having the right
Yeah, yeah,
conversation with the right person.
yeah.
So if I explain to you what I mean is, right, so in doing my rehabilitation, I build up a relationship with that client and their families. Yeah, so it's not just about going in there, doing a couple of exercises, and then bye, you're better now, right? To the point where there are people who I'm ready to discharge, where I say, you know what, you don't actively need physiotherapy anymore, but I am told, please keep coming. I want you to still come to me because it's more than just the exercises that you bring into my life. Yeah, it's that human connection, it's that understanding, it's that empathy, it's that encouragement. I can do more than what I did yesterday. So, whatever tech thing that I do, that essence needs to remain.
Yeah.
They've got Sheena in their pocket with them, or Sheena's voice in
Yeah,
their
yeah.
pocket with them for that kind of support. So I don't want to feel like if I'm distant away from the people I serve.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's different elements to how you can actually interact, right? So a lot of these apps actually that do really well that have no human connection, they target a very specific person, right? And that is somebody who's so closed off that they are afraid of interacting with a human, right?
It's interesting.
So you find those platforms, they'll take 10, $20 off of a few million people and be really successful and happy about it. But I always wonder how much impact they're actually making because they're not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, here's more stuff, go do it. Or don't do
Yeah,
it. We don't really
yeah,
care. I just need you $10 a month. Like,
yeah,
by the way,
yeah.
if you want to bump up to 20, here, I'll give you like an alarm that you can set we'll send you a quote at 2 o'clock every day or whatever. It's like,
It's not really addressing the real issues
right?
for
Yeah. So,
anybody.
and 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 the thing is, whether it's physical pain or emotional stuff or whatever the symptoms are, typically, without actually asking penetrating questions, developing a relationship and a like you call it, a vulnerable space for those questions to get answered safely. You're not going to get to the root of the problems. You can't actually treat the problem. You're just like making the symptoms go away for 10 minutes.
That's exactly. It's so short term.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some strong feelings about certain platforms that tend to do things like that. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, if we want to have like a proper tech bro chat, we can do that
Yeah.
at some point. What's the next sort of milestone that you'd be looking at in terms of what you're creating?
So I've been thinking about creating some sort of maybe like an evergreen program. Yeah. So I'm just in the process of thinking what would the modules be. But again, it has to be real beneficial to the person who signs up for it. And it can't be like, because when I'm really addressing the person who's actually gone through the burnout, and at that stage, you don't want to journal.
Yeah.
You don't have the energy to journal. You don't have the energy at all to do anything more than probably just waking up today. So it has to be, and the same thing with someone who's recovering from a life-changing illness. The fear that's reported, some of them, it's just this fear, feeling like my life is over, I'm never going to get better, I'm so dependent on everybody else. I want to feel like me again, I want to find myself again. So I'm trying to collate all the data that I've had from previous clients, to create a program that people can follow. Yeah.
Awesome.
But with the option of them still having some one-to-one coaching,
Sure.
because that's where the magic actually happens. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
That
what I'm
makes
thinking
sense.
about doing.
Have you done any marketing programs or anything like that in your time?
No, I wouldn't say, because so it's strange. With the physiotherapy, it happened very quickly and very organically, that I never had to do any marketing. So I started by just going and knocking on doors to care homes. And I when before I left the NHS, there was a lady, a care home manager, who came onto the ward and thought that I was so brilliant with her resident, and she said to me, "If you ever have any extra time, could you come to my care home and see a few people?" So I had already known that was a possibility, and I then started just ringing up other care homes, making appointments, went and chat to them, smiled nicely. They liked the energy and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it just grew organically through that. And because it's, I had the kids and I was raising the kids and stuff like that. So because it was only myself, I kind of kept it small, but I've been able to scale it now because I have had, how you describe it, I've tested the model, and and now I have, I get referrals from private GPs and stuff like that. So it's grown organically, and I haven't had to do the advertising and stuff like that. I've put my website up, it's there on Google. People find me, people hear about me, they come to me. This new business, the FemExec Wellness, is a completely different ball game. It's like a steep learning curve, because I can't just walk up on every female founder's door and say, "You know what? I think you're heading for burnout. I'm here. I'm going to help you."
Yeah.
So it's very different, and I'm trying to get my head around the whole marketing stuff, and just to generally get a marketing agency or something like that, I don't think is going to work for me.
Nah, I'll give you some, not now again, but I can give you some basics of where to start kind of thing. And how to approach the exercise rather is more important than where to start, right? But in terms of that, I love the idea of Evergreen because it can just sit there doing its thing, hand it out for free or whatever you choose to do with it. It's a great tool to have in your kit. It's a great way to get people into your ecosystem with that gentle nudge of hey, was this helpful? Yes. Fill out this form and let's have a chat. It's a really good idea and a really good thing to have in your toolkit, right? It's all about creating a toolkit of things to help get more people into your ecosystem. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, because the thing is, I'm just thinking, how can I get my voice out there to more women who need this safe space? They need to know that it's available. And yes, I've got a website up, but how do I get people to come and find me?
Time and resource.
Yeah.
Time and resource, and they trade each other off. So, similar way how we have ended up here, right? You can use very similar methods. You can do some searching. You can see, hey, this person looks really cool. They seem to be doing some really cool stuff. Let's see what happens.
Connections.
And that's, again, platform specific because LinkedIn gives you the tools to be able to do that. Certain other platforms have their ups and downs and levels of interactability and things like that. But yeah, it depends what kind of time and resource you choose to put into that exercise. Yeah.
It because I am the band leader. I'm the band leader. I'm the singer. I'm playing all the instruments.
Yeah, you are the band. The
you know.
agent and the roadie and the whole crew.
Absolutely. And the
Oh,
reason why I
wow.
use that reference is because I sing as well, right? So I sing jazz.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
I understand what the different elements
Yeah.
that makes the show go on the
Right.
road. And right now, I am it.
Amazing. My mom's in a jazz band.
Okay, cool,
So
cool.
I listen to a fair bit of jazz. She's a guitarist.
Oh, okay.
And she sings as well, but not often. She
Oh,
likes to just, strum along and be like, I don't know. They're cool. They have a good time in the band. Fantastic. In terms of getting to that spot, right, of having your course, looking to expand your reach, and open up those channels for people to access you. Is that something that you've looked into, maybe bootstrapping or partnering or getting external funding for?
well, it will be, at the moment, it will be bootstrapping, like-minded, with the right kind of strategic partner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, funding is something that I'll be open to later on. But it would have to be someone who truly understands my mission
Mm-hmm.
and can support me with that without taking me down a different path. Because maintaining my voice, the thing is, yes, everybody wants to be successful, you know. And yes, I want to be successful with what I do, but I'm really passionate primarily about supporting people, supporting women, regaining their energy, feeling like they can turn up their fully authentic self, whether or not that they're feeling a little bit broken now because I've been pushing a little bit too much, or yes, I've recovered from burnout. This is what happened to me. And to feel okay sharing it without the shame, without people judging them and stuff like that. So that's really, really important to me that I can maintain that.
Mm-hmm.
And these kind of topics aren't really sexy. So people are like, oh, we don't speak about that. So any kind of a funding that I apply for or associations that I make, they have to understand what my mission is
Mm-hmm. And
and be
obviously
supportive
not
of that.
come with conditions that restrict you from being you, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. What kind of support do you think would accelerate things the most?
Strategist.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who is a great strategist, who and someone who understands the link between health matters and tech.
Okay.
Someone who can help me merge my passions for
Mm-hmm.
supporting high functioning women, but understands the health element and understand that it's not something that can be rushed,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it may mean that, growth is a bit slower because I'm more purpose driven, getting results, getting these women better rather than filling bank accounts.
So you don't
Yeah.
want a
I don't want a profit
factory,
first
right?
driven.
Yeah, you don't want to say you don't want a sales agency. You want to create a place where people actually can get the help that they sign up,
I want to,
right?
I mean, I know this sounds a bit maybe lame, but I really, yes, I want to do well in business, but I'm really passionate about
Mm,
supporting people.
I get
That
that.
is what drives
So
me.
when we started our, this thing, right, that has now turned into something way crazier than we even imagined all those years ago. The goal and the mission was very simple. We want anybody to be able to have their own app as easy as it is to create a Facebook account. Whether you're a fish and chip shop, whether you're a $20 million company, whether you're, some dude with this crazy idea that just wants to see how it goes. Like, because even now, like, finance is a huge barrier in that space, right? And that made us angry, like that. Oh, like how dare you, kind of thing. It was really bad, but it's like it doesn't have to be that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sticking to those principles has gotten us so far. Like we get all the time, like, why are you charging so much? Or like being meaning so little,
Yeah.
because that's not what it's about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I get it all the
like
time as well. I
this
get it all the
dude
time.
Yeah, and people will, especially on the back end of it, where there's certain arrangements. So we have different types of service levels, right? We do have a do-it-yourself option. We have a do-it-with-you option, and then we do everything
We'll do it
for you,
for you.
right?
Yeah.
Again, that's to provide more access to more people, right? And even someone doing it themselves, we are happy to put in the time to help someone who's trying to help themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not just like sending them videos and shit. Like, I'll get on a call and be like, hey, let's work this out. Like, but even on the back end of that, like, if somebody is specifically to us, if somebody is like willing to put their safety, possibly in some instances, their life savings, however large or small that may be, whatever, their time, their possible future, right, into our ecosystem, absolutely, we're going to do the best we possibly can for that person, right? I think that's an attitude that you're also trying to convey.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah. I mean,
again, a lot of businesses tend to forget that behind all those metrics, there are,
they're human beings.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I had 30 new leads today. Yeah, like did you speak to 30 people though? Like, there's a person on the back of that.
And that's exactly where I'm at. It's like, I could be chasing followers. But what drives me is connecting with a human being.
100%. There are people with hundreds of thousands of followers who don't make any impact and make zero money. And there are people with a few hundred followers who make a huge difference to those people and have created ways to be fairly compensated for that, right? Because I think you did touch on it earlier about finding the right women to work with.
Yeah.
That's also
Or
quite important.
having the right women find me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reaching the right people, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, yeah. If anyone can solve those problems, they'll be, or like if they can solve them very consistently, if there was a magic formula, I think that person would be very wealthy. But there are things that can be done. Cool. Do you want to hit the lightning round?
Yeah,
I
sure.
think we're there. What's the best piece of advice you received when starting out?
Don't wait for perfection.
Nice.
I think that is a thing that can hold us back. And the website has to be right. I need to be doing so many rounds of whatever, and you just wait and wait. It's not quite right yet. And then you never do it, or you never get your voice out there, So, hey, I know there are a lot of boxes that I still need to tick. Maybe some people will say to me, oh, but you should wait until XYZ happens. But you know what? I'm ready, So it's like, don't wait for it to be perfect.
Absolutely. And on the back of that, a little secret is that either no one's ever going to see the first thing you ever do, or they're going to forget about it in a week.
Yeah.
It takes that long. Usually it's a day. So just do things, and get better a little bit.
And you get better. Yeah, you get better in time.
Yeah. Any advice you'd give to someone who's starting something new?
Yeah. Ask for help. Yeah. Know what you're really good at and be proud of that, but be honest about all the things that you're equally struggling with. And you don't have to do it alone. Yeah. Reach out for help. Show some vulnerability, because people are willing to help you if you ask.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. And where can people find out more about you and the work that you do?
Okay, so I've got my website. It's called FemExecWellness.com. And I am on LinkedIn as well as Shena Lee-Anthony. And I am on Instagram. But on Instagram, I go as Healthy Habits Heroine, because it's a bit of fun. People can see more of my personality. And I thought with this social media, I want to build a community. of women, and us we could go on a health journey together and make each of us the heroine of our own health. Yeah, so that's where you can find me.
I love that. I'll have all of those linked in descriptions everywhere we post, that people can find you. Brings us to our time. Thank you very
And it
much.
was lovely. It was
Really
lovely
fun.
chatting with you. Thank you for reaching out and inviting me to your podcast.
No problem. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll see y'all in the next one.